A good posture and spine are considered essential to our overall health and well-being. They play a very crucial role in preventing injury and also reducing pain and improving the quality of our lives. Furthermore, our spine is considered to be a very good central support structure for our body, providing flexibility and stability. It is said to be made up of 33 bones that are called vertebrae, separated by discs that act as a shock absorber. Its proper care is essential, and the need for us to take proper care of them cannot be overemphasized. Hello, viewers, and good day. Welcome to another educating episode of Health Watch, coming to you from the Advent Cable Network Nigeria. I am Godwin Ujiri, and I am going to be your host for this segment of the show today. I am not doing this alone. With me in the studio to look at this very critical topic that we have here is a physiotherapist. He is Mr. Chijoke Otipa. We would be looking at a very important topic that says proper posture and spine care for injury prevention. This is a topic I consider to be very apt and timely, coming at a time where a whole lot of persons out there do not know how important it is for them to adhere to a proper sitting or sleeping posture. And I will be leaving these few details because we have the experts here in the studio to do justice to them. Mr. Chijoke Otipa, you are welcome to Health Watch.
Thank you very much.
It's nice having you. And Mr. Chijoke Otipa, he is representing the NeuroHub Physiotherapist office. And on a day like this, just as any other day, is what they set aside as their day for service project. All of those details he would be doing justice to as we proceed with the show. Mr. Chijoke, so much to be dished out to our listening audience and viewers today. So just for a start, just tell us who you represent and what you do.
Okay, so my name is Chijoke Otipa.
Okay.
I'm a physiotherapist and a life coach, and I represent Neuro Rehab Institute, and that's the t-shirt I'm putting on.
Oh.
This is an institute that is responsible for coordinating neurological rehabilitation programs, helping with stroke and spine rehabilitation, getting patients to optimal performance patients who have had neurological issues that require treatment, and they are the ones sponsoring or leading the advocacy project, the awareness project for physiotherapy in Nigeria. And then we're doing this project to sensitize people to get to do good stuff. Usually it's the 17th of October that is meant to be set aside for the Physiotherapy Day of Service, but we are doing that beyond the 17th of October. We are doing ours throughout the month of October, where we go around to churches, organizations, to teams, to companies, and then we educate them about health.
That is indeed a big one. And just to know, are there outside you being in the studio to sensitize our viewers about so much that is presently being done at NeuroHub, I want to believe that a whole lot of your teams are out there also carrying out the same tasks just as you.
Yes, they are.
All right, thank you so much. And today, like I earlier introduced, we are treating or looking at a very important topic, and it says proper posture and spine care for injury prevention. So I just want to now know, what is posture? What is this big elephant in the house this morning?
Okay. So the big elephant is really not that big.
Okay.
Posture is simply the way your body is aligned in space. Okay, so the way your entire body is aligned, is spaced out, with relation to your environment. So let's say relation to your immediate environment. So the way my neck is aligned, the way my hands are aligned, the way my shoulders are aligned in space. That's what pretty much what posture is about. Okay, so there's sitting posture, standing posture, sleeping posture, how you basically align or organize your body with respect to other parts of your body, and then the space around you.
All right. With all what you just said now, how important is it when it now comes in relations to spine health?
Absolutely fantastic. Now, posture is really so important. Statistically, for a lot of work people, a lot of corporate people, over 70% of those population, usually report pain as a result of, and when you start tracing the cause of the pain, you can trace back to, the posture that they take on while working. So whether it's working on the system in the office or at home, or the kind of chairs they are sitting on, so it's usually underestimated how much impact posture has on our overall well-being. And pain is multifactorial. Pain is complex. So when somebody acquires pain as a result of bad posture, it affects their work life, it affects everything, it affects their mental health, and then they are not able to actually perform their tasks as they used to. It lowers their efficiency. So like generally, we can say that posture is really important, because it's a lot easier to avoid this when you have the right information than to start treating the consequences when they eventually happen, because you do not know what to do.
All right. Thank you so much. Indeed, as we're discussing, I was kind of adjusting to ensure that I am actually sitting right or having the right posture. But thank God you're here in the studio. I hope I am sitting properly.
You're doing well.
All right. Thank you so much. And I would want to know this either good or bad posture. How does it lead to what I would call spinal injuries? How does this affect the overall wellness of an individual, and how important it is for us as individuals to maintain a very good and healthy posture, either when we are sitting or either when we are sleeping, whichever, because the key note here is posture. So,
Okay, so I'll start with the last thing you mentioned, which I started answering already. And the it's very important, because it's easier to prevent something than to treat it. It's a lot easier to say you're going to do this right, because when you do it right, you are not going to fall for the consequences and then start managing. Now, the burden of healthcare, particularly in this part of the world, it's humongous. It's so large, considering the financial costs, the stress, the lowering work efficiency and all that. Now, this is really important. Proper posture is really, really important. It helps with, when you know how to sit, when you know how to walk, when you know how to do your activities in the right posture, you are going to have less risks for the consequences. You're going to have less chances of coming down with that pain that is as a result of poor improper posture. Okay, so and then you're going to spend less on the care. Now, I have come across a couple of patients, who, when we start managing, I mean, this is we're talking about chronic pain here. You've been treating this patient for a long time. You've been treating and treating for a while. They've been going to different places. They've been taking pain medications and all that. And, they get better after the treatment, and then it relapses. But then by the time you get to start asking deeper questions, by the time you get to start asking, how do you really, maybe the kind of bag that they carry, or the way they carry the bag, or maybe their workplace, the kind of chairs that they are sitting in, or maybe their mattresses, the kind of mattresses that they are using in their houses. By the time you start asking those deeper questions, you find out that it is way beyond, what you see in the physical. So posture is more of habitual. Okay, so we get to keep doing certain activities over and over and over again. Now, how can this lead to injury? How can poor posture lead to injury? Now, the spine is like an elastic material, So there's, for every elastic material, there's an elastic limit, and then there's a breaking point, there's a yield point, back to physics. Now, for that, when you were starting this, when you were introducing, you talked about, the vertebrae, and then they are divided by discs. Now, those bones and then the disc in between, if they are not properly aligned in space, if they are not properly aligned, and you now have them in tension, now realize that there are other tissues, soft tissues, muscles, ligaments, that are going over those regions at the let's say the neck or the spine. Now, if we are always remaining in poor postures, bad positions that are not good for the spine, you are going to be overstraining those structures, right? So not just the soft tissues in terms of the muscles and ligaments and tendons, not just those ones, but also the bones and the discs themselves. Now, when you adapt a poor posture, a bad posture, so let's say I'm meant to sit down to do something, and then I have my phone and I'm going down this way, this is overloading the neck. Plus, when you go forward this way, the weight of gravity adds additionally, the force of gravity pulling downwards adds additional compression, weight to the head, and increases the weight that you are bearing here. So that is too much for your spine. And eventually, what happens when you overload? Okay, let's say you have never lifted anything heavy in your life, and all of a sudden, for a while you start, just someone puts weight that is heavier than you on your head. What is going to happen to you? You end up in pain.
Definitely.
Okay, so when we keep repeating these mistakes and then we are overloading in the wrong positions, eventually, you will start having things like muscle strain injuries. You can even get to tear a ligament, muscle tears, or ligament tears. You can also get to start, this is very common, disc slips, or damage to the discs because of the compression weight coming as a result of the poor posture that we put ourselves into. Particularly these ones that are very, very flexible. The bones at the neck and the one at the lower back. So it's easier for people, because of persistent poor posture, to actually injure these joints. And remember, there's always that downward spiral. It keeps going on and on and on, the cost and the consequences. So this is the little I would love to share, and we'll get to know more.
All right, thank you so much. Indeed, this awareness charge and campaign is, like I said from the start, is indeed timely. And it is coming at a time where each and every one of us is faced with this challenge due to either not being aware. And you also agree with me that when it comes to even operating our mobile phone, many of us, a whole lot of us, fall victims to these things, and not actually knowing that we're causing ourselves more harms than good. But I'm happy you're here, and our viewers also would gain a whole lot from this knowledge that you are dishing out on Health Watch today. Okay, just to ask, there is always this myth, when you see people having a bad posture and you try to correct them to say, if you remain like this over time, it's going to affect you. The person will tell you, do you know how long I've been maintaining this? Do you know how long I've been doing this? If it wants to affect me, it would have. Now, these are some of those things we see out there. Now, these for me are myths as regards to posture, and also as regards to spine care and the rest. Now, for you as a professional, what are those myths in the course of discharging your duties that you have come by, and how do we debunk those, do I call them wrongful claim, and how do we now project the right claim to our viewers?
Okay, so I'll start with the first one that you said. That, for some people, they will tell you, oh, this has been happening to me. I've been doing this for a long time. If I should die, I should have died long ago. Sometimes we say funny things out of ignorance, and that's why you hear people say things like, disease no dey kill African man. What you don't know will not kill you. So don't tell me. I don't need to know, because if I don't know, it won't kill me. As health professionals, it's not unusual for us to see people, get by what they don't know. Okay, so a lot of times you find out that ignorance itself is a killer. Ignorance is terrible. So a lot of people may not, because you keep pushing yourself until you get to the limit. It's the same way a lot of people are working and they are stressed, and it gets to a point they break down, you get burnt out. So that's the same way it happens with the entire system. So you get to overload and load and load until the point when that thing finally happens, right? So it's just like your body staging a protest against you. Sometimes what we see as pain is just your body protesting for problems that you've been causing it for a long time. And then when it's finally fed up, it begins to protest. And the funny thing is, or not so funny, is when it gets to that time, it may be difficult to contain that protest. I mean, the bodily protest here. Now, the second one that I would like to debunk is, for some people, they think, oh, poor posture is already set. It can't be corrected. I mean, it's still part of what you said, fixed mindset. This is the way I walk. This is the way we walk in my family. This is the way it is. I have a bad back. I have a bad neck. That's the way. So a lot of people do not know that they can actually improve on their postures. They can actually get to understand the best positions for different activities and then start using those best positions for whatever you want to do. Now, the next one is quite widespread misconception about posture, which is, and this I must apologize on behalf of a lot of healthcare professionals who had thought that this is the best way to go about things, and that is telling people that the best posture is upright and straight. Because a lot of people think and still teach or share that the best posture is an upright posture. So if I'm going to be sitting in a best posture, it has to be in a 90 degrees chair, right? And if I stand, I should stand exactly straight like a mango tree. Okay. But then we have found out from current research that it is not really the best, and even the upright position can hurt your spine. Sitting in exactly 90, I could still remember my home economics textbook. Sit in a straight backed chair with your buttocks tucked into and touching the back of the chair. I could still remember, and we were taught that the best sitting position, or the best kind of chair that you should use, is the one that goes exactly 90 degrees, right? But then what we are now realizing is that particular kind of arrangement or setting puts the spine at more risk of injury. Now, what is the best, posture? We'll get to find out later. I'm sure I'll talk about that one.
All right, a whole lot. And I believe our viewers are key in wanting to learn or know those information you have there. And definitely they would get to find out. But just to ask, and this one also, what are those common postural mistakes you would say people make in their daily routine? You almost went into it, but maybe you dive into it fully now. As people go through the day, there are certain postural mistakes. I made mention of, say, operating phones with our neck, and you just brought in gravity, bringing in tension into the neck region and the whole lot. So what are those postural mistakes that we often experience in our daily routine?
Okay, so I'm going to start by saying this. Usually you get to realize that we do most of our activities in flexed positions. What do I mean by flex? Forward bent positions. So we are like, most times we want to use our devices, we go this way. We want to type on the desktop, you go this way, right? You want to write, you go this way. You want to check something somewhere, you want to wash. These muscles are always strained in our day-to-day activities. Okay, we are always bending, we are always flexing. Now, same thing, the shoulders and the arms, the chest. Most people tend to keep going into slouch position. So slouching is also not so good for the spine. It's not so good for the spine health. They go in this way, they have to work on their system. So not just that they're going down like this is the first stretch, and this one is the second one that they have to, work. And then for some people, their workspaces are not properly aligned or designed to suit the spine, or to not cause them problems in future. So you see people who are working on their systems, working on the desktop at the offices and all that, and the chair is so short. So they literally have to hang their hands this way to type and see what they are typing. Or it is so, it's so high that they have to look down to see what they are doing. So improperly arranging their workspaces can also be one of the postural mistakes that they are making. Bending down, so some people, when they want to do activities, chores, when they want to wash or do something, they have to relate with the floor, right? So they are going from a very high position and then they have to bend all over to keep doing that activity, or picking up something from the floor. Okay, some people, when they want to pick, this is now lifting techniques, it's still part of postural awareness. So they want to pick stuff from the floor, especially what is heavy, and they go down and you see their back will go like a C curve this way. Okay, and then that puts a lot of strain at the back, and that's why it's not uncommon for us as physiotherapists to get to see patients who come to our clinics, and they're like, I just bent over to pick my baby, and then I heard a sound. I heard a sound at my back, and I couldn't walk again. I heard a sound, and I couldn't move. I was literally paralyzed for a few minutes before I was able to they took me to the hospital and all that. And it's just because of one mistake. One mistake. Okay? Now, there are other things. This is the advent of technology. People are getting to do more with their devices. They're interacting more with devices, with tools, with PCs and all that. So you see people who want to use the system, right? And they're going to lie down on the mattress or on the floor or wherever in a very awkward position. Sometimes it's funny. People will come to tell you, oh, my back hurts, my neck hurts and all that, and by the time you start making inquiries, how do you sleep, how do you do your regular activities, how do you work on your system, how do you use your food, you will be discovering some strange things, scary things. And sometimes they will just be like, oh, I didn't really know that this is a problem, but it is. So all these things that I've mentioned, both from the neck, every portion of your spine, and this is what I'm going to leave with the audience. This is what I'm going to say at this point. What I'm saying is, anytime you begin to feel pain or discomfort, it's a sign. So pain is really good. Pain is our friend. It's not meant to be like always the enemy or the villain in every story. Pain is your friend. So when you begin to feel pain or discomfort while staying in a particular posture or position, it is a sign that you should change that position. Okay? That you should change the position, because pain is a signal towards an actual or potential tissue injury or tissue damage. So that is what I would like to share for now.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Chijoke Otipa. Viewers, in the course of the break, you would be seeing the different posture, both sitting and walking, that is right for you to take. So at this point, we will be taking a short break.
So this is my colleague Divine Favor. Divine Favor is using his device, and he is sitting in a posture that we do not want you to use. Now this is the wrong way to sit. So he is currently bending this way, and remember I told you about the pressure and the tension this is going to add to the spine. And also a bent position here is putting it in too much tension and stretch. So what can he do to make this better? Now Divine, go to the correct sitting posture. Beautiful. So you can see that he has used this other arm to support this one and then bring his device up to a point where he is not having to strain his neck. So if you are trying to consider the best sitting position for yourself while at home or at work, this is how to do it. Thank you, Divine. So let's go to the next one. And we are going to be talking about how you move around, the right walking posture, especially for those who carry bags around. So Divine, he will demonstrate for us how to do this the wrong way. Fantastic. So you can see how he is actually straining himself to move from one point to another. And by looking here, you would see that this part of his spine, this
bag is pulling his spine towards this direction. And after this continues for a while, he can actually start having a deformity that is called scoliosis. And that is an S-shape or C-shape curvature of the spine as a result of the adaptation caused by this weight. So, Divine, walk the right way. So you can see now that he is crossing the bag to fit in the two hands so that he can carry it well. This way he is not bearing so much weight just on one side, and the weight is shared effectively. Next, we are going to be looking at proper lifting position or lifting technique. I shared this, how this particular mistake costs a lot of people their backs. So please, Divine, lift the wrong way. Good. So you can see how he did that, and there was a lot of strain on his back. You can see this C curve. It is very easy to damage the back when you are carrying especially heavier loads. So now, Divine, do this the right way. Fantastic. So he kept his back in a neutral position and he took one leg backwards, and now the major force is coming from this one and his hands are supported while he takes himself up with the load. Absolutely beautiful. I think it's time to put my hands together for Divine. Thank you very much. Now you see it's easier to take the load from the ground with your legs instead of using your back as the lift or using your back to lift. It's a lot better for your spine to use your legs, your thighs, the muscles there, engage them and lift instead of just using your back and putting a lot of stress there. Thank you very much. So the next we are going to be showing you, these are some exercises that you can be doing to improve your posture. And remember that when you improve your posture, it has a positive effect on your general well-being and your mental health as well. So one of the exercises that you can be doing is chest openers, as I love to call them, because we do most of our activities in our daily lives in a flexed position, this way, slouch. So what do? Start learning to correct the position. Go back and take your arms. Maybe you can do it with me right now. Put your hands together. Go back this way and take your arms out and chest out. Then look up. Okay? So if you've not been doing this kind of stretches for a while, you may feel some good stretch around here. So take it up and look up and hold that for like 5 seconds and out. So you can do that again. Breathe in while you are going up, in. And then while you are coming down, you breathe out. Absolutely fantastic. One more type of exercise that you can do to help improve your posture and prevent pain that is related to poor posture is exercises that are focused on your neck and head movements. Example, this one. So we're saying yes and we're saying no, and finally you will join me as we do the chicken dance. I actually gave it that name. So let's go yes. It's a nodding movement. Just go up and down, up and down. Somebody asks you if you need to take money, if you need money right now, and you're saying yes, up and down. And then he begins to ask you for money and you're saying no. So we are going full range to the left, full range to the right. You can add some, some pressure with your hands and then go full range to the left. Okay? And the next one, which I gave the name chicken dance, is this one. So you can place your two hands on your chest this way, and then you go forward this way and back. You can look at my head move, forward and back. Good. Forward and backwards. Forward and backwards. A very good way to ensure that the movements at the neck are being maintained and we're actually getting to full range anyways. So thank you very much for joining us on this session. We hope to meet you some other time. Keep watching ACNN television. Thank you.
All right, welcome back, viewers. It's glad to know you are still there, and we believe that while we went on that break, you saw all of the different sitting, walking, and stretches you could take in order to maintain a good posture. Still with us right here in the studio is the physiotherapist, Mr. Chijoke Otipa. He has been doing justice to a whole lot of our questions, and I've been educating us so far on the various ways. And also remember, we have been looking at a very interesting topic that says proper posture and spine care for injury prevention. So welcome back once more. We will be diving into the conversation that we earlier started. And Mr. Chigioke, you've done so well today. You've shown our viewers all that they need to know. But we have a whole lot of questions to ask, and because I believe our viewers are waiting to see how to get this right and improve their daily life or daily living, and also enhance all of those routine activities that they do in order to stay healthy. So on that note, I would want to know what is ergonomics and what role does it play in posture and spine care?
Okay, so just the way I mentioned the other time, ergonomics is simply how you organize your workspace. Okay, how the workspace can be designed with the worker in mind. Okay, and when I say worker, I don't just mean somebody who is going to the office to do work. I mean you as an individual, as a person. How is your home designed to ensure that you are interacting better with your environment? That's what ergonomics is about. So basically, most times when we talk about ergonomics, we are referring to how your chair is designed. Because one thing too is a lot of things that we use daily, we are not designed with us in mind. Take, for example, this chair I'm sitting on right now. Nobody knew I was going to be sitting on it by this time of the day.
I quite agree with you.
When the maker was producing it,
Sure.
even though it's comfortable, yeah, I'm lucky. But, it wasn't really designed with my own specification in mind. My height, my weight, and everything. Now, same way. The way your system is organized, I mean, where you work, your laptop, your keyboard and everything, the mouse pad, how everything is organized to ensure that you are not straining, that you are not in pain, that you are not, going through a lot of discomfort while administering your work. That is what ergonomics is about. So your mattress, the kind of mattress you use, how it is structured, how you sit, when you sit to work, how you are relating with the chair, how you are interacting with that space, how the eye level. If I am going to be, let's say that my system is here and I'm working on my desktop, and the desktop is just far above somewhere that I have to keep looking like this to do what I'm doing, or it's too low, and maybe I'm working on two different desktops and I have to keep moving from one to another, the distance from one to another, how I'm able to adjust my eyes so that I don't keep staring at the screen. I can look at the outside and focus again, how the lighting, the background light is affecting what I'm doing. So for some people, a typical example would be, so you're working on your system, but then you are literally backing, or you are facing the light, the glare from the windows and all that, and it's like coming into you, directly into your eyes, or you are positioned in such a way that you do not even have enough light to work. So all that is ergonomics. Ergonomics is basically the mechanics of everyday life design to ensure that it suits you as an individual.
All right, that is quite insightful, because you understand with me that a whole lot of us, or a whole lot of the workers out there that have this 9 to 5 working schedule, more or less stay with their systems all day. And like you rightly said, ergonomics have to do with the arrangement of everything that has to do with the setting of your workspace. And we're having these longer hours to work, an average worker cannot avoid. what kind of seat or what kind of posture, what kind of seating arrangement. As I'm more particular about the kind of seat or chair you would advise an average worker to look out for, to go for, or advise management to get in order to help cushion this effect on our spine on a daily basis?
Okay, absolutely fantastic question. And I would say that this is really important. In fact, I believe that it has to come to a point where we begin to push policies aggressively for people who are working, in places where they do not have the right kind of chairs for them, because it affects a lot of people. I have seen a lot of people get affected by the kind of chair that they are using in their offices, and they try to get it changed, and it seems like nothing is really being done about that. So I would say the kind of chair that would be advisable to use is the kind of chair that suits the one using it. Now, they are ergonomically designed chairs. They're ergonomic chairs, just like the one I'm sitting on right now. I can tell just by sitting on it. And, the chair has to be able to take in the weight of the person on it. It has to be able to provide a back support, a good back support. It needs a handrest so that the hands don't just hang freely. I mean, the arms don't hang freely. Now, while sitting on it, it shouldn't be too high, such a way that when you sit, your legs will not hang out. It can't touch the floor. So you need to be able to touch the feet flat on the floor, like 90 degrees flat on the floor. Okay? You need to be able to touch the floor with your feet. You need to be able to support the arms by both sides, and then a backrest. And not just that.
Sorry, just to ask, you say touch the floor. Is it while sitting?
While sitting.
Your hand should
not
be
the hand,
able.
not the hands.
Okay, your feet.
Your feet, yes.
All right,
your feet should be able to touch, the floor, flat on the floor.
Okay.
And then, the back of the seat is also a very, very important thing to put into consideration. So, like I was mentioning earlier, we used to think and tell people that 90 degrees is the best, right? But now we are realizing that it is not, because of the amount of strain that you can equally put on your back when you are sitting on 90 degrees in all these old classroom chairs. Now, something that would give an inclination of about 100 to 130 degrees would help. Even in your car seats, sometimes when I sit on the passenger's seat, I love to turn it down a bit, because I realize that a lot of people just, they just let it remain in that 90.
Okay.
And by the time you sit in that position for like 10-15 minutes, you start hurting. Your back starts to hurt. Okay. And chairs that are ergonomically designed, usually you see that they are a bit more inclined than the regular ones that we have, than the regular 90 degree chairs. So they should also be able to take in the weight of your back. It reduces the pressure on the discs. It reduces the pressure going down the spine. And this is the most important thing. This is the most important thing when it comes to posture, particularly sitting posture.
Okay.
We used to think, sitting on a straight back chair with your body at 90 degrees, sitting up straight like this, we used to think that was the best. But no, we have understood that it's not the best. Actually, your next, I keep mixing this up, your best sitting posture is your next sitting posture. Your best posture is your next posture. That is to say, even if you have the perfect seat, the perfect chair, the perfect backrest, the perfect handrest, the perfect everything, and you're just going to sit like this for a long time, it's still sedentary. It's still, it's still harming your body, because your body, you're not moving, you're not getting movement. The spine is wired to receive a lot of movement. It's wired to move. Okay? So, take this from me. Motion is lotion and movement is medicine. So the best the best sitting posture that you can take on is the next one. So keep on moving frequently. That's how to keep your spine healthy. Okay, so as you are sitting in that comfortable position, don't be so comfortable that you forget to move. Occasionally, just change position, swivel a bit, turn a bit, and that's why, some people also love that one that allows them to kind of rotate themselves, just play around a bit. And so that's what I would really recommend. Occasionally, at least every 5 minutes, 5-6 minutes, just, you don't have to get up and move anywhere. You can just, just change position. So that's what we recommend as part of what will be the best sitting posture.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chijoke. Indeed, for me, I would say this is truly life-changing, because a whole lot of persons do not have the right knowledge to as little as how they sit and how people comport themselves too much as staying in a particular posture for a very long time without knowing that they are inherently harming their self. But while you were explaining, you made mention of sedentary lifestyle, and then just to come to that, we live in a modern age where a whole lot of lifestyle adjustment and a whole lot of it is affecting us without us really knowing. Now the question is, what are those sedentary lifestyle that can affect our spinal health, and what can people do to counteract this effect on our spine and health?
Okay, so I'll start on the same note. Motion is lotion and movement is medicine. So we like you said, we are in that era where almost everything that you need to do almost every day is here. So a lot of people can stay on this for 3 weeks. They won't come outside their houses. As long as they have food, they can stay with this and they are done. I mean, they are done. They are making money with this. They are doing everything with this. So they're not really moving around. And then let's talk about, the elderly population too. When they retire and you don't have anything taking you out, you're not going to work, and then you are remaining in one place. Now, one thing is this. Sedentary living affects us generally. It affects us generally at every point. So your mental health is going to be at stake. You're not seeing people, you're not interacting with people. And what's this sedentary living even? Staying in one place for too long is as simple as that. Just being in one place for too long. Being in one place, sitting in one place for more than 3 hours, 4 hours, you're already living sedentary life. Working on the system for hours, going to work, and you have to sit down to work at the desk for hours. You're not moving, you're not getting a lot of, the movement requirements for your body. That is what we refer to as sedentary living. Now, we have people who sit on the desk or sit in their houses, on the couch, in the bed, and then they watch movie all day, all night. Okay? Now, the next thing, they start gaining weight. Next thing, they're getting obese. Next thing is a heart disease or a stroke. So, this really impacts the human life generally. So, what can we do to prevent? And then, when we talk about the spine, how it affects the spine, I've already said this. When you park your car, I had this experience. At the point, my brother traveled to another state, and I was left in Abuja, and his car was there, and I had to be, you have to come warm the vehicle. I didn't know how to drive, so I couldn't move the vehicle. I couldn't move. I'll just come, I'll warm it. I'll just ensure that I'm religious with the warming the vehicles, But because I was not moving them, before I knew what was happening, I came out one day, the tires were flat. And eventually, when it was time to move the vehicle, one of my neighbors helped to try start the vehicle and move it around. Man, the kind of sounds that I heard from that vehicle, they were scary. That's the way our bodies are. That's the way the spine is. Motion is lotion. So when you do not move, your spine, which is like, let me call them bolts and nuts, they start getting rusty and cranky, So when you now eventually start to move, you may start hearing sounds that you were never prepared for. You may start hearing some strange sounds because you've not been moving. So this is how it impacts our lives and impacts spine health. So as much as possible, how can you mitigate this? How can you stop this before it comes? How can you cut the dangers before they come? Now, one thing that I would advise is make movement a part of your life. Make physical activity a part of your life. Sedentary living is not good in any way. It is very dangerous. And that's why WHO, called it the sitting disease. They said that sitting is a new smoking. There was a time, I think it was around 2020, that it was a slang. It was a popular thing, in the health space. Sitting is the new smoking. Sitting is just as dangerous, if not twice or thrice as dangerous as smoking. So if you're going to sit, it is recommended at least every 30 minutes, get up and move around. One of the things that I do is when I receive phone calls, usually, you see the way I talk and I'm gesticulating, even if this is a phone call, I'll still be doing the same. I'm already used to that. I'm a teacher anyway. I love to teach. So whenever I receive phone calls, I take it as a reminder to go, get up, go around, stretch. You know, when I receive notifications, let's say I'm watching a TV show, I'm watching ACNNTV, and let's go on a commercial break, let's go on a break, let's go on whatever break. It's a reminder. Get up, move around, stretch, get some movement, oil your joints. Okay, so as much as possible, we can try to include movement to become part of our daily lives. As you are walking, and sometimes even little movements matter. So while I'm traveling, you are flying to another country, it's a long flight, or you are traveling to somewhere from Abuja to Enugu or to Oka, and you are on that transit, there are some movements that you can be making despite the fact that you may not be able to alight and do the stretches and whatever. You can be doing simple movements like chesting out, coming out this way. I'll still demonstrate all those things in the demonstration session. And yeah, this is just what I would like to summarily see at this point.
All right, thank you so much. Viewers, you've heard it. One thing I am taking from all of this, he said that movement is lotion.
Movement is medicine.
Is medicine. And
motion is lotion.
Motion is lotion.
Yes.
Thank you for that. Indeed, if we have this at the back of our mind, it would also trigger us to take steps in the right direction. Now, you've spoken so much, and you've countered this issue as regards to sedentary living and the rest of it. But there is one, I wouldn't say myth, though. People often say that good health is expensive. And how true is this? If it is not, how then can we acquire, say, good health without spending so much?
Okay. Good health is actually expensive. But if you think good health is so expensive, try bad health. Try being in a bad health condition or situation. You know, why people usually think health is expensive is they've not hung around the hospital environment. You know, you go to places where when you begin to bill a patient, I mean, you see a patient and you are billing a patient, and this patient has been in the ICU for a period of time, a stretched out period of time, maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and then you go to the bill and you are seeing net bill accumulated, and it's like 6.7 million naira just for being in the ICU for 3 weeks or 4 weeks or 6 weeks. You know, now if you begin to check that, it won't cost you, I mean, up to that amount to buy fruits, to eat healthy, to, you know, take care of yourself, to sit well. Something as small as that, to lift well. So there are people who they have acquired injuries at work because of improper lifting techniques. So I've heard this, you know, I've heard a lot of stories like that. I've seen people who had such experiences. So they bent over to pick something and then it snapped, you know, at the back, had an injury, and then from there tried several series of management sessions. It didn't work, and then, you know, medications is not helping their pain, and then eventually surgery, and then the surgery is going to cost a lot, right? It's going to cost a lot, and after the surgery they come back to physio and they do a lot of you know, all the exercises, all the physio sessions, and then maybe they still have to go back to another surgery for any reason, you know, and then after that it continues and continues. You call it failed back syndrome. You know, I have seen this, and this is why I'm saying it. And what it brings to me is this could have been prevented with the appropriate knowledge for free. So some people may say that, oh, I need to change my chair, but it costs money, it's expensive, you know. Oh, you know the price of what it will cost to do a surgery. You can't compare it to the price of the chair. Definitely. You know, oh, I need to eat healthy. This is what people have died of cholera even after, you know, all the expenses on medical bills and all that stuff. So it is, I mean, poor health. Will I say poor health? They're like, it's like oxymoron, you know, but bad health status is even more expensive than good health. So every approach that we can take to ensure that we are living better, we should be trying. Now, I'm not saying that everybody should go and start buying ergonomic chairs for 100,000 or 150,000 or 300,000. That's not what I'm saying. Okay. You know, but then there are some lifestyle adjustments that we can be making in our workplaces, in our homes, in our offices, wherever, even in church, there are some adjustments that we can be making. So for me, as an example, I go for events a lot. I go for conferences a lot. I go for a lot of events. And sometimes when I go for those events, they don't really give time for people to stretch. No break. So you just sit down for 8 hours, for 7 hours, and you are learning. It's good to learn, but I mean, to the expense of your spine, it's not worth it. So they keep doing that, and after a prolonged period of time, people are still sitting in one place. What do? I take myself out of the equation. So occasionally, I just get up, I move around, I stretch, I come back again. And I do this like intervals of about 20 minutes, 30 minutes thereabouts. I have had my own episode of back pain related to posture, and I knew. And one of the things that should come to mind here is when the back pain is or neck pain, right, or any spine related issue is as a result of posture, especially when it's still at the early stages. When you start correcting the posture, you will start feeling a lot better. So for me, I decided to start moving more. It won't cost me anything to get up and go to the restroom and stretch. It won't cost me anything to go to the restroom and do some basic exercises that will also, you'll see in the course of this presentation. So those are the little lifestyle adjustments that we can make. And I'm going to end up with this one.
Okay.
Something as simple as the way you use your device, the way you use your mobile phones. So I see a lot of people do this, and this is the way they use their phones, right? So you can literally see.
I think I'm a victim to this also.
Thank you for the confession. So the neck goes this way. This is an easy way to strain the neck. Very easy way. Now, not just will it strain the neck, they do it repeatedly. And sometimes you see some of them come down with headaches. They'll say, oh, my neck hurts, this whole place, my shoulders and all that, this upper side, it hurts me. And then I have headaches going all the way up this way from here. And when you start, I've had this experience. It was hard for me to actually correct this patient, because after teaching the patient what to do, the next time she comes, sitting in the reception, she's still doing this same thing, and I'll have to keep sending reminders. This is not what to do.
All right, just to add to this, in all what you've said, at what point should a patient or someone experiencing all of these discomforts seek for professional help from a physiotherapist?
Okay, good. Now, I would say at any point. Because seeking physiotherapy attention doesn't just have to be when you are already in pain. It doesn't just have to be when you are going through some kind of crisis. No. Early intervention is key. And we as rehabilitation professionals, we go from education. And the education stage is prevention. That is what we are aiming to target, prevention. We go into acute care. The moment you start experiencing the pain, you can come to see a physiotherapist. You can request to see a physiotherapist. Now, for every condition, 3 basic things. When you hear physiotherapy, remember 3 basic things. 1 is pain management, pain modulation. 2 is exercise prescription. 3 is movement expertise. Okay, so we are movement experts or mobility experts. We analyze your body, we analyze your system, and we help you to move better. Or if there's any condition that is limiting your movement, we can help you, manage that and help you move better. Now, prescribing exercises that would help reduce your pain, help improve your mobility, help improve function. And then the last one I said is pain management, directly managing pain. So if you are having pain that has lasted maybe more than 3 days, you've taken pain medication, it's not helping, it's not resolving, it's coming back, or this pain comes back, and it's affecting your work, it's affecting your daily life, it's high time you requested to see a physiotherapist. Now, what a lot of people get to experience, sometimes they don't get referred. They try, they keep coming, and nobody tells them about physiotherapy. Now, what I tell people to do these days is, don't just go to the hospital and complain about your pain and take pain medication and go, because medications have their side effects. Drugs are basically calculated poisons. I would say good kind of poisons, because they have purposes for creation. But at the end of the day, over dependence on those drugs may be harming your bodies, maybe harming our organs, our systems. So that's why you hear, okay, this person has been on pain medication for a long time, and now she has an organ failure, liver failure, kidney issue, heart issue, ulcer, and all that. Meanwhile, if you are able to see a physiotherapist early enough, there's a good chance, particularly if the pain is as a result of all the things I've been mentioning, there's a very good chance that your pain is going to drop significantly within a few sessions of physio. So if you feel any form of discomfort that has lasted for a while and you think you would need physiotherapy attention, do well to go and request personally to see a physiotherapist.
All right, viewers, thank you so much for staying tuned to us and taking all of this medical advice coming from no other person but from Mr. Chijoke Otipa. He is a physiotherapist with Neuro Rehab Center, I think, here in Abuja, and they are doing a whole lot within the medical space. So we want to urge you, just like you've heard him say, to always go out there whenever you feel any form or slight and discomfort, to seek a medical advice or help, especially from a physiotherapist. And with that, we would be wrapping up this segment of the show, but I would be leaving you with this, because by adopting to proper posture and incorporating spine care practice into your daily routine, you can significantly reduce your risk of injury and improve your overall well-being. Always remember that maintaining a healthy spine is an ongoing process that requires conscious effort and attention. Viewers, start today and reap the benefits of a strong and healthy spines for years to come. Until we come your way again next time with another interesting and educating episode on Health Watch, please ensure you always take care of your health and always maintain the right posture at all time. Bye for now.